everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm just gonna kind of unedit this, I guess, and just kind of go around and talk to you guys because I feel like, I don't know, it might just make me feel better. Usually when I do these at late times in the night, I regret it, but I don't think I'm gonna regret this one because honestly, I'm probably gonna look back on this and appreciate that I did this for myself. Anyway, I just wanna go about this little training time and just kind of talk about what I'm feeling and just the things that are kind of scaring me lately because there's a lot. And I took out a self-ronse because I was like, I want kind of a jumper horse. I have this outfit already set, so. But yeah, there's been a lot that's been kind of happening lately, and there's a lot of feelings, a lot of big feelings, and I want to talk about it. And a lot of change, not only just in my life of people coming and going, but also just feelings of what I want to do with my life. And there's some big things that are changing. And it's scary because, I've had this security blanket of oh yeah, this is what my life is going to look like. This is what I want to do. But I'll be so honest, all of that has just changed. Nothing stays the same. And that's really scary to me. I've always been the kind of person who has lived in the same house since I was 3 years old, and I grew up here. This is pretty much all I've ever known, and now that I have this channel and whatnot, I can look back on the memories of where things were happening and where I felt so lost, and then things picked up again. I am at the point where I can mentally bring myself back and say, okay, things are gonna be fine. I just have to breathe and trust the process. But I have severe anxiety, and that really plays with me a lot of the time. And so I will literally feel like I'm gonna throw up, even if it's something minor. And I'm actually gonna have a little situation story time over on my members only part of my channel later this week, because I feel like that will be, one, some good content for my members, and two, it was kind of a story that really impacted me at the time, and it still kind of is, and I think it's because of all the other things that are going on right now. Sometimes something that's even so small can seem so big just because of what you're going through, and I think that's normal. And I just want to say, if everybody else is downplaying the situation to you and it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal to you. It's allowed to be a big deal to you. You don't have to listen to all those people who are saying, oh, why are you just making such a big deal out of that? It's stupid. It's not stupid if it's not stupid to you. And I'm going to say that right now because you're allowed to feel those emotions, because if those emotions are big, they're big for a reason. Different things are going to trigger you for different reasons. We've all gone through our own shit. We all have our own trauma in some way, or we're all going to have our trauma in some way. The last time I really felt like this, with all these feelings that I was feeling, was about 2.5 years ago, when I actually had some people who were trying to quote unquote cancel me in this community. I know, crazy, right? And for so long, I was so afraid to say anything, but honestly, I'm not afraid anymore. And I think it's because, I just learned, even when people say things, if they were going to do it, they would have already done it already. And also, you're the only person who knows who you are. Nobody else can tell you who you are, who you're going to be. You can only dictate that for yourself. And that means you have to get up and put in the work, even when it hurts, even when it's the hardest thing you've ever done. I have had to do things when I just feel terrible. And honestly, this week has reflected a lot of that. I have just felt so scared and happy. And I don't know if it's the new year of 2026 throwing all of these new things my way and saying, look, Vea, you gotta learn how to be an adult now, or if my life is just changing. Even if it's for the better, I'm okay with it. I am embracing it. And, looking at all the things that are happening and changing, and my mind shift from wanting to do something with somebody to not wanting that anymore and wanting something for myself. For so long, when I was younger, I felt like I had to be in a relationship. You know, I felt like I had to be someone's other piece of the puzzle. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be so honest with you. The only person who you should be looking after at the end of the day is you and your peace. And I'm not saying that because I'm being selfish, but because your love and your wants change, whether it's friends, family, life decisions, careers. Like, I have changed so much in the past 5 years. It's crazy. Like, I remember when COVID first happened in the March of 2020 and everything shut down, and I was in one of the most abusive relationships I've ever seen in my life. And from that, I felt like I couldn't be alone. Like, I had to be in love with somebody, and that's just not the case for me anymore. I found so much peace in my own space now, and that's so nice because I know I can make it even if I'm on my own and stuck in these feelings that feel like they're so heavy and big that nothing could ever get better. But trust me, it gets better. It really does. And even though I'm feeling these feelings right now and I'm kind of back in those negative thoughts, like, I know they're just thoughts. And in a way, I'm making this video for myself to kind of talk myself out of being so afraid. And I know it's okay to be afraid, but also I want to go into this with a positive mindset and look at it with love and like wonder and excitement. And I am really excited. Me and my best friend, Amelia Dreambell, we were talking a lot today, actually. And, you know, a lot of my life choices kind of just shifted this past week, going through something that was kind of hard and difficult, and realizing now that, you know, the things that I once wanted are not really what I want anymore. And finally seeing past being afraid to be away from my family and whatever, and we talked about it. And one day I think I'm gonna genuinely move out of this state and go somewhere, and maybe even move down to Florida and take my horse with me. And listen, this is like a years in the making process, but the thought is the first step, and this is the first step. And while I'm so afraid, I am so ready at the same time. And I'm someone who will keep my word. Like, I know this will be good for me in the end, but you know, and there's always that point where you can say, I don't want this for myself. This is not working, and backtrack. You can always do that. But I think my next step in life is saving up money and, you know, buying the car that I'm using from my parents off of them, and then getting the frick out of here in, like, I would say 2 years, 3 years time, and maybe getting my instructor license to teach lessons and maybe be a barn manager down in Florida and have my horse down there, and one day have a facility of my own, but for now work for somebody else and do YouTube, and maybe even, you know, be where my best friend is. That's scary. I don't know, man. I'm just a girl, dude. I really am. And at the same time, I want to cry, scream, and fucking kick my hands and feet around and feel all these emotions, but also go full steam ahead and do it even if I have to do it with a broken heart sometimes. Even if I have to hurt, I know I'm gonna get there. And so many people look at loss as such a bad thing, but I've lost so much in one go in the past month, and I look at it in such a beautiful way. And that's a hard way to say it, because you never know how you're gonna react to a bunch of things. And the last time I lost my best friend, I lost so much all those years ago when I was just figuring myself out. I think I hit 2,000 subscribers at the time. It was scary as fuck. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, I broke up with my best friend that I had for a long time, and you know, here we are back at it again. And honestly, I feel like if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be where I am today. And maybe all of this is confusing to some of you, and honestly, I'm not going to go into all of it because it would just take way, way too long. But if you're scared, sometimes you just have to push forward and do it anyway. Get up and go to that class. It's just an hour, babe. Like, get up and get this day started. It's fine. And as much as I'm saying that to myself, I'm also saying it to you guys because I know a lot of you guys look up to me and ask for my advice a lot of the time. Like in my comment sections, like I see people being like, you know, like I'm just, you know, growing up, bro. Like I don't really know how to do this. If you want me to be so honest with you, I don't know everything that I'm doing either. And the scariest feeling is not knowing what's next, not knowing how to feel about it, not knowing what to do. And some days are just not gonna be it. Some of them are just gonna be, you know, I just want to sit in bed and cry for now. But then tomorrow I'll get up and I'll try. And even if it's the hardest thing I ever did, you know, after this whole week, these past 2 weeks, I've been probably the most anxious person I've ever felt in a long time, and I know I'm gonna be fine. Oh, I just crashed. I did not mean to do that. I'm like getting emotional, like talking about this because it's scary, and I don't know how to push forward, but I know that the best way to do that is to continue my studies, continue what I'm doing, finish my degree, save money, and get the hell out of here someday. See what's on the other side. See what the world has to offer for me, you know? And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. Like, I am not going anywhere. This channel is not going anywhere. And my channel is actually a part of my plan as well. I am going to continue to do YouTube and really, you know, aspire to do better and really do something with this and grow it and see what I've got, because I have so much power through this channel, dude. Like if you and I know this sounds like a shitty, cheesy old freaking like inspirational video, but it's true, bro. This channel means so much to me, and I don't know where I would be. I mean, obviously I'd be doing something else and I would be fine, but like to see the person that I've built for myself, to know that I sat down and I worked my ass off to get where I am today. A lot of you guys ask me like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you grow a channel? How do you become a better person? Whatever. Because believe me, I was a shitty person. I was a really shitty person a few years ago. And I really hurt some people. I really did. And although I do regret it, I can't go back and change that part of my life and change what I said, change what I did. But, you know, it took losing everything in that moment to be who I am today. And, you know, I lost a lot these past few weeks, you know, and I feel lost myself, honestly, a little bit, but I have a new plan and I'm trusting in the process and I believe in that plan and I'm ready for whatever it has to offer for me, honestly. And I hate the whole like cancel culture, whatever, like, not that I'm affected by it right now or at all anymore anyway, but like there's so many people in this community who will take things and screw it around and say things the wrong way. Like, honestly, like if you don't stay in your lane, like even if you do stay in your lane, like people will have something to say about it. And honestly, that's kind of what happens in any industry, community, whatever. Like you're gonna have people who are just like not good people, but don't let other people dictate who you get to be, you know? Like you get to decide if you want to be kind that day. You get to decide if you want to kill him with kindness, bro. You get to decide if you want to, you know, work on your channel really hard that day. You get to decide if you want to do it. Motivation is not a part of it. Sometimes you just have to do it anyway. Sometimes you just have to sit down, suck it up, and just do the thing you don't want to do anyway because you know it's good for you. But yeah, honestly, that's really all I have to say for now. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but I think talking to the camera made me feel better. I've been going through a lot of nights where I've just been honestly panicking to myself and I've been so unsure about what I want or what I need. And although I do have some of the answers now, I'm gonna, you know, learn more of those answers as I go on and, you know, deal with these feelings. And I think in about a week or two's time, I'll look back on this and I'll be like, everything's gonna be fine. Things are still gonna be scary and whatever, but just trust in the process. Like, if you're ever having like an anxiety attack or a panic attack, count 3 things that are the color red, 2 things that are the color blue, and 1 thing that's the color yellow. You can choose what it is. You can choose the object, you can choose anything. That really helped me just ground myself and like communicate with my mind and saying, you're just thoughts, and I can actually control my thoughts and what I'm feeling. Like, if I'm feeling like I'm losing control, I just have to redirect that thought. Just like in horse training, like when you're training a horse, you redirect the thought from what they're thinking. And that's what you have to do with yourself, honestly. Even with motivation, like redirect the thought. Be like, you know what? I actually do really need to do this. If I do this for 2 hours today and I get this done, like there's so many techniques that you can do. Yeah, like you guys got this. I've got this. We all have our own struggles. We all have our own issues, but honestly, the biggest part of it is people come and go, and that can be really hard, whether it's through death or just a friendship breakup or even a breakup in general. Like, people come and go. People don't stay in your life forever. Nobody does. And that's what makes this experience so amazing. And honestly, life is only precious because it ends. With a world full of so many crazy, scary things, especially right now, and as much as I would like to think that, you know, everybody was raised to be kind and gentle and be a good person, that is just not the case. This world is full of terrible, awful things, but you get to choose whether that is you or not. And I think we all make mistakes. We all say things we don't mean. We all do things that we regret. At the end of the day, it doesn't make you a bad person because you made a mistake 3 years ago. It doesn't make you a bad person because you cut off that one friend that wasn't really benefiting you earlier this month. Or for my example, like, you know, you meet somebody, you're excited about it, and then all of a sudden it's gone within like a blink of an eye, and you were confused as like, wait a minute, this just started and we were doing so well, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're gone again. I'll have that whole story over on my members only channel, but it was just, it really hurt me. Like, also, don't say something to somebody if you don't mean it. That's what I'll say. You know, we're not always going to be in the mood to be kind. We're not always going to be in the mood to be nice, but you get to choose whether you are that anyway. And I think that is a powerful thing to do. And sometimes you just have to get up and do it with a broken heart anyway. And I'll say that. But I'm not going to reveal anything in this video. I'm not going to reveal any crazy information because a lot of the information that I've been talking about is kind of private and I'm still working through it. This is just kind of like a document video and also something that you guys can sit here and train to or do something else in the background. I do really appreciate those of you who listen to these videos. I know I don't do them very often, but when I do, they can be really impactful to some people. So if that's you, you know, let me know in the comments down below what you think, what you feel, whatever. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But yeah, like, you know, going from losing a horse a week before Christmas, and that's kind of why I'm riding this horse. It kind of reminds me of Finn a little bit. One of the horses at work actually passed away, if you don't know, and that was really impactful to me because he was honestly my favorite horse there. And me and my horse have been going through some confidence issues IRL, and there's been a lot going on in my family and just my mind and ideas that have changed and are developing into something new, and I have a new idea about this life I want to create for myself. And don't take this as me going anywhere. Like I said earlier, this channel is not going anywhere. It's only steam rolling ahead, no matter what anybody would like to say or whatever. Take it from me. I am the one you want to take the truth from of this channel because this is my channel, and whatever anybody says, I'm not going anywhere, okay? And I'll make that clear. Also, if you want to join my members only, down below, I believe the lowest amount is $2 a month. So yeah, I'm gonna have some more videos over on that. Thank you to the one member that did subscribe earlier this week. I will have you in the little end card at the end. I forget their name. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting used to all of this, but things are really taking off for me and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I will see you all in my next video. I love you guys so very much. And yeah, all right. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share, and comment down below what you think. And I will see you on my next video. Bye.